Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox Chair, on the panel this evening is the one and only Blue Star and the top tipster, Fox. How we doing, gentlemen?
Evening, Ox. Evening, tipster.
Evening, guys.
All right, Fox.
I am doing well, Paul.
You've done it again, mate, eh?
I had another good 71 win of the day.
You got a nap for tomorrow?
Oh, I've got a wee inkling for one tomorrow, yes.
Go on then.
No, I can't. I'm not taking the blame if it doesn't win, mate. You just carry on. There was a few years on that won the day, throwed on, we got on at sevens, ended up, I think it was 92 or something, but we go on at sevens.
Oh, good day all round then. What'd you have for your tea tonight then? Thought you'd be a steak man tonight.
No, I seen what you wrote in the lobby. I think that's disgusting.
I think you've got it all wrong, Fox.
No. I'll tell you what, I'm totally surprised I've never heard of that day, because I'd had that marked in my diary.
You don't have to give, Fox, you can receive, you know.
No, I know, I'm just taking no part in that. Carry on with the football. Blue Stars seem to know a lot about it anyway.
Aye, so he does.
Were you a fillet or a sirloin man, Blue Star?
Don't incriminate yourself. You better tell the listeners what you're on about and stop leaving cryptic clues.
He's not answered the question. You're a fillet or a sirloin man, Blue Star?
That's what I say is rump.
That's a bit tough for Fox with his teeth. Anyway, we move on. All kidding aside, it was a sore night for us players on Tuesday night, but we have to get back behind the team and we'll get a big game on Saturday, Blue Star.
We certainly have. As we were speaking last night, the Gers haven't beaten Kilmarnock in the league so far this season, so here's hoping it's a good 3 points on Saturday. Get us back on track.
Aye. Bounce back. What about yourself, Fox?
Forgot all about Tuesday, mate. I'm just looking forward to winning the league now.
All right. Forever the optimist, eh?
Oh, of course. What else is there but hope that you win it, mate? We're not out it yet. And as far as I'm concerned, 8 points can be turned around.
You know I'm no one for spreading rumours, Fox.
No.
But I've heard one of our regular callers get into a wee bit of a scuffle at the match on Tuesday.
Oh, well, tell me about that.
Well, I think what I've heard, and it's no me, so you don't shoot the messenger, that he was accosted before a young woman.
Oh, I could have a guess who that could be. Was it after his sexist remarks last week, by any chance?
Could have been, mate. So I hope he's all right. He was in a bit of pain when he spoke to me, but well, you need to watch yourself. Anyway, Blue Star, Kilmarnock, they're going to line up the exact same way as Aberdeen. We've got to be. How do we learn for this? How do we move on?
Do you think Stevie G will play the same system, more or less the same team? Or is he going to make changes? We really don't know, do we?
I don't think we've got a lot of options, if I'm being honest, mate. That's part of the problem.
Agreed. And as you say, that is part of our problem. But surely, we've won games with that same 11. They know what it is to be at the top, because they've been at the top. It's the next game afterwards. We fell flat on our faces. So here's hoping it can work the opposite. We fell flat on our faces in the cup. We're back in the league. And realistically, we've got to get as many points left out of these last 9 games as we can. So surely the guys have got to go and prove themselves to the fans. Surely they've got to be busting a gut on Saturday at Ibrox.
I agree. Fox?
I don't think it'll change much. For me, I think you'll play this system now to the end of the season. Maybe a wee change in personnel a bit, but I don't see any major changes up. So as good as where we are at the moment. Well, on the good side, we're sitting second still in with a chance. On the bad side, we're out of 2 cups. So that's up to what people think, whether he's doing a good job or no. Personally, I think next season is a season that we'll see the real Steven Gerrard as manager. A wee bit of extra cash in there and a couple of quality players could turn that team into a really good team. We know how well they can play. It's just the inconsistency that's cost us dearly this season.
I've been thinking about it, Fox. You think? I know that size isn't everything, but do you think physically we're a bit short?
I think we do. We're lacking a bit of good physical presence, and because everybody we play against is physically stronger as a team than we are. So we could do with a good hard tackling midfielder to get in there, and maybe Stope has been bullied so much in the midfield. I thought Ryan Jack was that man this season, but unfortunately when Ryan makes any sorts of tackles, he's immediately booked, and been wrongly sent off already this season. So somebody in that vein for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, somebody in the Patrick Vieira mould, there's no many of them about Blue Star, is there?
No, there is not. I'm just reading Cairo's comments on the lobby, and he's saying, well, surely if we were going to learn, the team should have learned 10 games ago. If they're not learning, is it wise to carry on playing the exact same way? Or is it a case where managers just thinks he doesn't have the players in any shape or form to try and change it? For me, I still think he could try 3-5-2, especially if we're playing at Ibrox. Flood the midfield so that the opposing teams don't get a grip of it, so that we're totally controlling the game, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of the time, as we spoke about the last couple of nights, if we're relying on 3 in the middle of the park and you're up against 4 and 5 of the opposing team, surely that's playing into the opposing team's hands rather than them having to construct a side to combat us. It seems to be every time an opposing manager has got a grip of the midfield, if they change a certain bit of their team, Stevie hasn't really acted upon it there and then and tried to change the formation so that he's combating their style, if you know what I mean. We've not been able to do that at all. As far as I can see, it's basically a case of whatever team he starts with, he's very loath to try and even change it, even to bring on subs. It's as if he says to himself, well, I've picked you 11, it's up to you to do the business. But if it's not working, surely goodness common sense must prevail and he's got to try and change something.
I think it's difficult sometimes in the heat of the battle to make rational decisions, but that's what management's all about. But sometimes I just like my system to have a wee bit fluidity about it, Fox, if that makes sense.
Well, I've still to hear somebody come up with a solution to playing against 10 men behind the ball.
Difficult. You need a bit of luck.
You can change your tactics 3-5-2, 4-4-2 any way you like, but the problem still doesn't go away. When you've got 10 men behind the ball,
but the problem
you need somebody to unlock that.
What you've got to make sure then is you don't lose a goal.
Yeah.
So you can't lose the game.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I'm sure I read a stat today saying that we'd only lost, 6 goals when we've been playing at Ibrox. Now, obviously, going with stats, they don't always tell the real story. 6 goals doesn't seem a lot. But these 6 goals, I didn't look into it well enough. But have they all been winners? I don't know. But at the same time, as you say, if you can't break that team down, you must make sure that you're keeping them out at the other end. So, playing at Ibrox, I've got to be honest, we're expected. we expect no matter what 11 is out there to more or less dominate a game. And unfortunately, there's been stacks and stacks of games. Go back to Friday night. We totally steamrolled Hibs in the first half. It could have been 6, 7, 8, nothing. And what happened? We only scored one. And then the start of the second half, they came out. They have a real go at us. Okay, we know there was ref mistakes, etc. But you try and concentrate on your team. And the bottom line is, if Alfredo's not putting the ball in the net, you look at the stats for other players. We're next biggest scorers, Tav and Mr. penalties. We've got to be better than that. And surely the players we've got, they might not be world-class superstars, but surely to goodness, when you look at our 11 that he puts out and you look at the opposing teams, 99 times out of 100, you look at the opposing team's players and you say to yourself, we've got far better players than them. It just doesn't seem to be materialising that way. So I would just like...
Best players don't make your best team, but Bluestar.
Absolutely, and I get that. And again, he might out Foxes, and Fox might be right. Maybe come next season, if we get another couple of players in, we know it cannot change. But at the same time, you would have to imagine most of the nucleus of his so-called starting 11 now, his preferred 11, he picked all them, Fox. He brought all the guys in. So is it a case of he's now looked at the guys he's brought in and he genuinely thinks he's made massive mistakes insofar as most of these guys he's brought in, he doesn't think they're good enough? I wouldn't like to think that is the case, but maybe it is.
Only time will tell. Anyway, Fox, it'd be interesting to see what other people know that have taken to reflect. What's the number?
It's 0141 356 1972.
Or join us at Skype at rangersradio.online, where you'll be brought into the... once you've contacted us, you'll be then brought back into the call.
Can I just say before you go on?
Yep.
Facebook and other apps that we've got didn't work last night. It wasn't down to our platform.
Whole world.
So we apologise that people on Facebook, etc., didn't get to hear the show last night.
There's always an easy solution, Fox. If you're on, come and join us in the lobby here.
Just type rangersradio.online into your browser and it'll show up our homepage, and just come in and join it there.
Mm-hmm. I just noticed we've been joined by a new member. I think it's Scratcher in the lobby for Great Grand Michigan in the USA, so welcome. Anyway, talking about guys that's all usually under Scratcher, we've been joined by JFK. Evening, JFK. Oh, he's obviously lost his voice, Fox.
Aye. Maybe he's totally shocked with that news that came out of Ibrox today about free sanitary wear for women has flipped Jimmy over the edge, you know.
The wrong button there. How you doing, guys?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm all right. Bit sore. Sore of the result. And
how many of them was there, Jimmy? Was there 3 or 4 lassies?
I was about 35, 40 of them, mate.
All right.
Lots of them. All right, Bluestar, how you doing, pal?
Not bad, JFK. I'm interested in just a quick recap on what you thought of it on Tuesday. How do you think? I know we let the quick goal in after 2 minutes. Do you think how we reacted was anything good, or what's your thoughts?
I thought we decided we were going to have a go. We did change the game, obviously. I mean, losing the goal the way we did, Bluestar, you know. We started to play no bad bits of football, but it was nothing was happening. No, Fred was trying his best. Overall, for me, I think we were cheated, and I don't usually always say that much, but I think the referee cheated us. The Stonewall penalty, where I'm sitting, it didn't, can't see if it was or no, but overall team performance, no at the races. I just don't understand. Another game that there's so much expectations is, and so many players let us down again, Bluestar.
Yeah, definitely.
We tried and fits and starts, and in the 82nd minute, I remember looking at the clock and I say to my boy Graham, the 82nd minute, we look as if, hey, why did we not do this the first 80 minutes? We look as if we're maybe going to have a go at it here, you know. Jermaine Defoe had a decent enough shot, you know. Overall, I did say, and I still stand by what I said last week, I would say as soon as Fred get booked, I'd have taken him off. And they should have taken him off. See when he gets booked, guys, we're just all waiting him getting that second booking and doing to 10 men, and that just takes his part of his game away, and that we're low starting Tuesday night. So an overall assessment for me, Blue Star, is pass marks. None of them. They pass marks for me.
I agree, JFK. I agree.
Not one of them a pass mark. You know, no, some of them are even worth commenting about. Kamara, that's the worst I've seen him play. The worst I've seen them all play, you know. Barisic, for me, I said Halliday would be better there, but the gaffer went with Barisic. So I was really disappointed, and I still say again that we were cheated. After I went home and I watched the game again. I recorded the game, and it was on Free Sport or Premier Sports, whatever it was, and I sat and I watched it, and I couldn't believe it when I saw the penalty. And then Waldorf and Stadler on Sports saying they actually agreed it was a penalty, and Fred should never have been yellow carded. So no bother about what they say about it. It's just what my opinion is that, and I think all you guys knew seeing it again, that would have changed the game, totally, and we could have. But not to win it. Apart from that, again, the tackles the referee was letting them away with. 8 bookings, 2 or 3. Absolutely disgusting. So, just as I walk, just to let you know, as I come out the ground, at 90th minute, linesman guy puts up the board, 3 minutes injury time, whatever you want to call it, added time. So I always walk up to the stairs and stand at the top, so I can be at a quick exit. Fool me. As I turned to run out, the final whistle went, I went my arse. I done my back in, so then the woman all attacked me. So that was my Tuesday night, guys.
They've been waiting for an opportunity. Was it a stretcher bearer called?
A stretcher bearer?
Yeah.
Wish it was somebody that was bear. Never mind stretcher bearer.
Did you get that? I set you up with some healthcare today. Were you happy with that?
She wasn't what I was thinking she was going to be, you know.
The best I could do at short notice, mate. I'm sorry.
Well, if that's the best you can do, then I'll accept that, pal. But thanks for the offer. Any future help, you can just stick it, you know. Wasn't worth bother. But it's nice to be back on tonight, guys. I missed you all last night. I listened to the show today. Back's getting a bit better, so
good.
Touch and go for Saturday, right enough.
Fitness test tomorrow night.
Don't know if it's vodka or painkillers tomorrow night. We will see.
Yes, we will. Anyway, we move on. I mean, Oxford, look, we've lost games before. We lost a game of football. I think we're still moving in the right direction. We know there's issues with some of the players, some of the system. I think we will improve when we move forward into the transfer window, but I still say it's going to be the hardest thing will be moving some players on.
I don't know. He was quick enough to get a lot of them out the door in the pre-season, mate, and I think there'll be a lot of changes again this season. I can't work out whether we all keep looking at Stevie G's tactics, mate. He came up here thinking that he could build a team, an attacking team, and that would be good enough in Scotland to challenge. And I think his recruitment was based on that. I think he tried to put a team that would entertain us on the park. But I don't think he had enough clue about like Scottish football is. And the sort of games that we play in where we do play against 10 men behind the ball. And it's not worked out for him. But I think he'll change the personnel next year. Probably we might see a couple of older quality players coming in that know this sort of football. And that's my hope for next year.
I think, I heard you talking earlier on, folks, I think his priority next season is going to be, for me, a commanding centre-half, mate.
Yep.
We need that sticks out a mile. I know we've got Fred, Defoe and Big Laugh up front, and we've got others out on loan who might come back next season. But for me, it's got to be a commanding centre half. We've no got that. You know, when a wee sabbatical last night, I watched Liverpool last night, and they were immense in defence. You know, so that's what you need. You need a big guy. You know, we've had it with Richard Gough and Terry Butcher years gone by. So we need somebody in the centre of defence here that can actually defend the ball. You know, and we don't have that. So hopefully that's his priority. And we don't know what's going to happen with Fred, whether he's going to be there, what road the gaffer's going to be doing. But I'm like yourself, folks. I don't think he's going to change the system he's got. He's going to play that system. So he's got what he's got to know. And like yourself, I mean, never say never. There's still a chance as getting 55, but it's a slim chance.
There's a slim chance, but we've got to keep hope. We've got to win the game on Saturday, mate. Keep winning.
Yeah, of course.
For me, Ox, if he sticks to the same system next season and the next 9 games, obviously, for me, he's got to. Well, obviously, can he do it in the next 9 games? If we're talking about getting into next season, I agree with the centre half. For me, he needs the exact same in the middle of the park, a commanding guy who controls and who can handle himself.
Was it you that gave us the McCrory stat last night? What did you make of that, JFK?
Was that? I missed that. What was that? Was that?
I think
every
total,
time
it was 9 games, Europe and
domestic.
Right. And McCrory's not started in any of them.
Yeah, so right. Well, these kind of stats speak for themselves, don't they? You know.
I don't know, guys. Have any of you seen any of the blogs today? It's supposed to have been that McCrory went in, was it 3 days ago, and he had words with Stevie G. Now, whether it's right or not, I don't know. It's certainly been on a lot of forums, and they're saying that he wasn't happy about being dropped. He had words. Now, the only reason I'm bringing it up is simply because the last couple of games there, when he wasn't even on the bench, there might be something. And I know, Ox, you reckon that you'd heard that he'd had a knock. They're saying now that he's not had a knock. He definitely isn't injured.
It wouldn't be the first time that somebody's put that out just to cover up something else, wouldn't it?
I realise that. I know that. But
I mean, look at JFK.
It is supposed to be, Ox, that he isn't injured.
Look at JFK. He missed the show last night and he's come out with that story, you know what I mean?
Well, when I spoke to you earlier on, you told me you wouldn't tell anybody, so...
You know me, I can keep a secret.
I know.
Ox, can I ask you something? Did you
as long as it's not too hard, mate.
See, when you watched the game at first glance, did you think it was a penalty?
No.
Neither did I. So therefore, I'm the opposite for Jimmy then. I know it's easy to pick fault with the referees, and he let too much go. But at the same time, with a split second, when you looked at it, no way in a million years did I think it was a penalty. And it was only when they showed you the view from behind the goals.
Just you know the way he threw himself down, if that makes any sense. But once I seen it again, you're like, I had his horns around my.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm just thinking for the point of view in first glance. I genuinely didn't think it was.
No, and the one I know for me was Big Goldson when he gave I think it was May or McGinn a wee nudge.
I know
near the corner flag where I sit. And he hardly touched him. It was 2 guys coming together, and the referee couldn't wait to blow for a free kick. Absolute scandal.
Don't mention blow when Fox is on the night, please.
Right, okay. But I mean, where I'm sitting, obviously, I know Blue Star it. I mean, we're all saying, we all thought, he's dived. You know, because obviously you don't get a second showing it. But it wasn't until I come home and you saw. I mean, what was it? I mean, the linesman surely could have saw something. I still felt all around the park we didn't perform, and I felt all around the park the referee Clancy was
There
always
was a
willing to give them
there
the
was a
second.
couple of big decisions for me. The penalty. Well, I'm saying I'll give you an honest opinion there, Blue Star. When I first seen it, I thought he took a dive. Yeah, but I mean, obviously seen it since. But what I will say, first seen it, the boy, what's his name, Constantine, should have been at least
just
booked
hear that.
after half an hour.
Yeah,
And then the boy Dominic Ball for the
Yep.
lunch. I can't remember if it was Candias or Kent. I mean, it was a booking all day long. He just happened to be that the boy skipped past him. The intent was there.
Absolutely.
Two bookings, and then Constantine could have been in set off and things like that. You know what I mean? So it changes games. The referees can have a big influence in the game, but I think we're big enough to admit that
of course we are.
we can argue about all these things and we can put a case up for them, but at the end of the day, we still never played well.
Nah.
Fox?
Sorry, carry on just now, Ox. I'm doing something. We've been joined by a caller on the phone.
I'll take the caller. Evening, caller. How we doing?
How you doing?
Here's a clue.
Travel?
All right. What do you know on Skype for?
I don't know. Phone me.
Who?
You're desperate to talk to me tonight, aren't you?
Oh, I never phoned you. I haven't phoned you. You're not even on my friends and family or my favourites.
I listened to it last night. How you doing anyway?
All right, mate. How did you go on the day? Did you have some rump fillet or sirloin?
No, man. Prawns.
Prawns. All right. My steak as well, Gio.
Miserable prawns.
All right. Have you recovered?
No.
No. Are you still as animated? What's on your mind, mate? Get it off your chest.
Still, can't believe we've been let down like that again.
That was a sore one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Big time.
Therapy is needed.
When was the last time you felt like that? The semi-final when they beat us?
Do you know? No, the last time I felt this was there was a game last year where I thought we were still in there a chance of competing, and we could beat half the Hibs at Ibrox. And that was it. That was just disappointment in the team, where they've kind of built you up, you know, and then bang, they do the same thing to let you down, and it's no ability, it's no a lack of ability, because you know what they've shown us earlier this year.
Attitude, attitude, is it?
They can play. It's the attitude, and that's what annoys me about it, and it's the taking the supporters for granted, and just not being professional. Some of the players, Daniel Candias can score a wonderful goal that he did against Hibs on Friday night, and then a simple pass across the box was out of the team to roll in Ryan Kent or your man Alfredo, and he leveled it high, wide.
He hit it like a bullet, didn't he?
He hit it for the Govan Stone, mate. That must have caught you in your seat.
Yeah, it was close. I nearly to get it back to him, but that it's something as simple as that, you know. And the Glenn Kamara for the goal, the square ball across the edge of his 18-yard box. Remember we done the square ball against Kilmarnock for, I think it was Jordan Jones when it apart and scored. Now, fair enough, that wasn't Kamara, but all you're asking is for players to learn lessons and try and be professional, and again that's they've let us down badly. So I mean we've been knocked out of the League Cup earlier on for Aberdeen, where we didn't really perform. Different excuses on that day, but as far as being totally dejected and scunnered with them, the last time I felt that was a game against Hibs last year, where I thought we were. He questioned the attitude of the players, and I kind of mentioned it last night to you, and you know it's my drum that I like to pull out and beat all the time, but When he just give me a captain, somebody that I can have a bit of pride. We the place immaculately observed a minute's silence for Eric Caldwell last night's game. Caldwell be turning his grave watching that weak, meek performance, not just for the players, but for him as a captain. And I'm sorry, that's.
I think you've got to watch that. You've got to watch. I mean, we didn't play well, but there was no way Tav was one of our worst players, mate. There was.
I'm asking as a captain. I want somebody to stand up and be counted and be a leader.
Aye.
And
you've got to. What your question is the manager selection of our captain, then, eh?
What I would say about
he's been appointed a captain.
I know, but it's the manager. Deliver. Him. He's no changed. The boy's no changed.
The only thing I would say on Tav, and I would defend him in that game. I'll tell you why. He was one of the few that I actually seen when he got the ball. He was at least running at them. And for me, when you looked at it like that, one of the ones that really frustrated me in the night was Kent. The amount of times, and I take the point that there was always 2 and 3 guys on him, there certainly was, but there was quite a few times he actually got by his player that he was taking on. And then he stopped and he would pass the ball back when he should have been firing it across whenever Fred was in space. I couldn't get my head around that fact. And he'd done it in numerous occasions.
Right, well, can we go back to Tav? Because I'm not finished with him. Right, so free kicks, right? He gets to take every single free kick. That's what it appears like to me.
Some of them are garbage, mate. It's really
some of them. When was the last time we scored? Well, I think it's maybe scored one this season. But we're 50 games in.
I know. Yeah, so, right there.
But there was a free kick last night. Oh no. We'll take the 2 free kicks. So there was just in front of me where the wild night came. I mean, that weather. The wind was swirling and you think, right, okay, you've got a chance to put this in here and cause a bit of damage. He put it in straight in, and then the big boy Lewis just came out and picked it. It was like, it was like picking an apple off a tree. That's what I done. And then he had a free kick to the middle of the box.
I remember the you're talking about. For me, it was a rank 15 player that should take it, and that's maybe.
No, but it's hard. It's my ball. It's my ball. I'm taking it. And then there was one with
I'm feeling there's a personal dislike between you and James Tavernier.
Listen. I've got nothing. The man may be the most pleasant and amiable chap that there is, but I've not got. And I don't follow those players to be their pal. I don't follow them because they're nice guys. I follow them because I want them to go out there and perform
if he was
to the best of their ability.
If he was the captain, his performances, would you say he's one of our better players?
Travel, who else would you give the captaincy to? The 11 that Stevie G's continuously picking now. Who else could you realistically give the captaincy to? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't see any of them as a captain, and I'm being truthful there. I honestly don't.
There's McGregor. I mentioned it last night, and somebody posted on it. Ryan Jack. Nobody wants to give it to Ryan Jack. I could probably argue that Joe Worrell is proven as being more of a presence on the park than what Tav has. Now, I know he's not anybody's favourite, and he's only here on loan. But I'm talking about a presence on the park and try to show a bit of leadership. If you watch them, he's the one that's shouting and pointing and trying to direct people. Tav doesn't do that.
No.
And then if the referee gives a poor decision, that's another thing. Aberdeen got a player get booked last night for what was it? 2 nights ago, he get booked. As soon as the referee put it here, there was 3 players around about the referee shouting down the referee. Shinnie was the first one in, and then there was 2 others followed in.
But guys, you can go back to our last captain travel. Lee Wallace wasn't a shouter. Never in a million years did Lee Wallace. Did you see him grabbing a hold of players and having a right go at them?
It was a screamer, but in Travel Rug's house.
It's what?
He was a screamer.
Well, hang on a minute. Well, if you want to say that Lee Wallace isn't a shouter, I think Graham Murray might not agree with that.
He may know, but he certainly wasn't.
So do you honestly think that Tav's the type of guy that would go in there and say that would go in and fight the corner and say this is whatever Lee Wallace and nobody really knows what's happened in that dressing room after that embarrassment at Celtic Park. But you know that Lee Wallace has went in there and he's went through a few of them.
Absolutely.
Right.
The only other guy I've seen having a go at any players, and he's done it in the last 3 games, and he really has because it's dead noticeable, has been with McGregor, the goalkeeper. He's certainly had a go at his defenders. He has. Out with him, the midfielders, Jack and that, much as he can tackle hard and everything, I very rarely ever see Jack even shouting at another player, if ever. So we are limited on that.
I've seen him. I've seen Ryan Jack shouting at other players. And by the way, there was only one player was thrown his silent tackles last night, and that was Ryan Jack, and he'd done it 2 or 3 times. But
can I jump in now?
Well, one at a time, and I'll drop these all.
Oh.
Particularly that troublemaker on the phone. Right, on you go, JFK, then we'll go back to the caller.
I can hear what Travel Rog's saying there, and I agree with your point now, but the fact is we don't have what we'll deem as a figurehead, as a captain, somebody that carries respect in the game. You know, Tavernier's worked his way up through the ranks at a lower league English football, and he's brought to Ibrox and he's been made for captain. But you look at the great captains that we've had in the years gone by, guys, get players who you would say were legends in their own, you know, the way that they performed and they represented their country and represented Rangers. We don't have that player at Ibrox apart from one man, and that's Alan McGregor. Right? Apart from that, we don't have anybody else. Where I was there watching the game on Tuesday, McGregor was giving them bellises all the time. But Tavernier's no interested. I don't know what his thinking is. You know, he needs to be more commanding as a captain. There's no, and a lot of people say, but a club captain doesn't really matter. Well, it does, because we don't have anybody in the centre defence there that can mobilise them and sort them out. I mean, I remember the game, and we all talked about it, but Big Macaulay came on at the Motherwell game. And I know, okay, we were winning easy at half time, but when he came on, you could see that he's reading of the game, the way he was able to organise the defence, cajoling the younger players, and McCrory was on the part that night. You know, the fact is we don't have anybody like that. And Travelrog's right, and the fact is that, I mean, was Ryan Jack being a captain? I don't think he's got the same ilk as some of the players that we've had as captain. So we need to bring somebody in next season as a big centre half and the new captain. Who it's going to be, we don't know.
Anyway, we've been done the global ambassador. Now we do, Mr. Global Ambassador.
I am good. We have got a captain there. We've got a captain there. Can any of you guess who it is?
Ross McCrory.
Correct, Mundo. Ross McCrory's the captain. He should be the figurehead of our club. For the first time I seen him getting interviewed at the side of the park at Partick Thistle, he handles himself well. He has all the attributes to be a captain. I know he's a young man. He maybe doesn't have what Jimmy was talking about, but I don't think McGregor is captain material. He does his job when he needs to do his job, but there's a few skeletons in his closet. Whereas the young guy's fresh. He gives us what you need as a captain. Somebody that's he's maybe not the best player in the world, but what he gives you a captain's performance, I think, personally, and he's the man for me. He should have been made captain last season.
You've been banging that drum for about a year now, Al.
Correct. More than a year, 18 months, I think, approximately. He should be the captain. Like, he's a clean-looking, he's a strong... I've said to you before, half the battle is looking the part.
This is the SMS text delivery system from BT. Message from 077170044.
It's James Tavernier on the phone. He wants to speak to you.
Well, James Tavernier can go and take a run and jump, man. That's not coming to me,
for more information.
That's not me either.
No, me either.
Before I was rudely interrupted by Busby.
When you go, Big Al?
So what I'm trying to get at is he should be playing week in, week out. I see that. I think a lot of other guys see that. We can build a team around that guy. We can utilise his strengths. Just to go back to, he's clean looking. He's a handsome big fella. That's the fucking. Sorry, I didn't swear that. But that's the type of figurehead I would like to see in my club. He's blonde hair, blue eyed. His Sheila's looks all right. You know what I mean? All these things bode well for a captain. All these things bode well for a captain.
Big Al would have made Tom Lang the captain. On you go, Travel Rug. Is that a fair comment?
No, I've got no problem with that. A lot of folk will probably say, "Oh, he's too young," but Barry Ferguson wasn't particularly old when he became captain. And if for all there's maybe Barry's not the most popular now, but he certainly was when he played with the jersey on and when he had captain's armband. You knew he was leading that team, and he led us to success again and again and again. So that he was a young boy when he got the armband, and he grew into it. There's no reason why McCrory can't do the same. Now, one thing that worries me a wee bit, McCrory wasn't signed, and that may count against him, because I've got no idea why that boy's just been binned.
Guys, I'll tell you what goes against him. The manager won't even put him in the squad, never mind make him captain.
Aye.
That's what I was trying to say there.
He's not even getting on the bench.
Is that a bit of jealousy, do you think?
I wouldn't like to think so, Al, but you never know.
No, because well, the way I'm looking at it is, if that young guy comes in and starts doing a captain's role, yeah, and starts producing performances on the park, the manager's going to be proved wrong. And we're not going to take to that young guy, I believe. We all like him at the moment. If he comes in and strong, and we see him lifting cups and that, he's got to become the figurehead. At the moment, Mr. Gerrard's the figurehead, because everybody else below is pretty weak.
Ow.
But if that young guy... Yeah, go ahead.
Blue Star, just let people finish and then we'll bring you in, mate. Just let them finish.
No, it's all right. Let them go ahead. It's all right.
Al, we've only beat them once in 6 games. See the game we won 4-2 at Pittodrie? He brought McCrory on the second half, and he ran the show the second half. And since then, he's hardly had a game. Against the team that we beat the last time, 4-2, he's not even putting him on the bench. So there's definitely something wrong there, because we know for a fact he's not injured. He said it in his presser he wasn't injured. So
I think it could be a wee bit of the green eye monster.
Can I just come in for a minute there? There's somebody phoning, but they've had the phone number. I can't bring them into the call if they hide their number, just to let them know. Thank you.
That will be that nurse looking for you, GF, Kate.
It's a night nurse, mate.
Yes, mate, that's all right. That'll get you to sleep. Right, so look.
But sorry, Ox, can I just maybe continue on to it? The manager keeps telling us that he trusts particular players, right? Yeah. And he says, and Ryan Jack is one example where he comes out and he trusts him. He said the same about Ross McCrory, right? And then he also gave it that he's a future of this club. He's got to be the next captain. He's got to be this. He's got to be that. But he's as soon as he's got a chance, he's binned them after and the match on the 29th when we beat them, and then the game after when we came back. You were thinking to yourself, he's got to continue with that team. But no, he changed it because he was trying to accommodate Defoe and Davis and whatever else. And the boy steadily get pushed. He was on the bench. He was on the bench for a few weeks. He came on against Aberdeen. He's been getting pushed out the picture. And it's the same with the boy Glenn Middleton. I can't accept.
Where's he gone?
When a boy like that is playing well, you keep pushing him, you keep playing him. I mean,
but Travel, he hadn't played well for weeks and weeks and weeks, mate.
Middleton went right after Boyle, guys.
Come on, it's no apples for apples having McCrory, mate.
Ryan Kent's been setting the header alight, hasn't he? He's been absolutely fantastic in January and February. And so's Candace. These guys have been really tearing it up, haven't they? No, but we keep getting games every week. They're not getting that.
And that's how you need competition. You're awful quiet, Travel. And Big Al, are you outside?
No, there's a guy came into the cabin here.
All right, he sounds happy. He's what?
Yeah, he's happy. Aye, Chris is always happy. Sorry, guys, I'll go on mute. No, you're all right, mate.
Right, so, I mean, let's ask the people out there.
I have my suspicions about Chris, right, you know. He's got one eyebrow. He's got one eyebrow.
All right, okay, say no more.
He's Maltese. One eyebrow.
Jimmy likes a Malteser.
I bet he does,
They're horrible. Yeah. Sticking your false teeth.
You're a topic, man.
A topic? You don't get topics now in Scotland, mate.
Do you not get any cabanas? Remember them cabanas?
Don't get them either.
I think Jimmy's been a whisper man now. He's not got his own teeth, you know.
Every man, I've still got the 32 teeth in my mouth, mate.
I don't know how.
Every one of them is still mine.
But they come out every night.
No, they don't, mate.
No, you're all right. Yeah, good
He's
man.
all his own teeth and all his own hair at his age. He's a fine looking man as well, JFK.
Well,
How old are
I'm a man, but I don't know about fine looking.
Right, so we'll ask the people out there in the lobby if anybody wants to give us a call. Does anybody think that's a bad shout going forward, Ross McCrory? I get it, but I do agree with Blue Star. He's got to get in the team.
It's a good shout.
Hi, look.
So it's a kind of no-no, innit? He's no. I don't know what he's got to do to get into the team because we know that he is a cracking player, and for whatever reason, the gaffer doesn't want to play him. So, I mean, the reason I never mentioned him as captain is because he's not been getting a game, and he's so far out the picture now. It's unbelievable. So
it's quite strange, mate. It's quite strange.
Yeah. I don't think it's strange at all. I like Ross McCrory as well, but if I had a choice between Kamara and Jack and Ross McCrory, I'm going to play Kamara and Jack. Unfortunately for Ross, we managed to bring Kamara in early. He wasn't due into the summer, but he must have showed up well in training. In the first few games he played, he justified him coming into the side. So, and Ross, although a good defender in the defensive midfield role, when it comes to passing, he's a bit of a letdown, mate. And I think that's what's holding him back at the moment.
Fox.
Yes.
Fox, can I counter what you're saying there? Can we just look at the opposition that Kamara's been shown up as a bit of a superstar against? And then in the games the games that mean something, he's been pretty anonymous.
It was our best player on Friday night, probably.
How many times did Ross McCrory play and have bad games as well? We can't just talk about the Celtic game, mate. He had a good game in that, but there was games before that he didn't play well as well.
What's his record, Fox, for interest? How many games how many losing teams has been Ross McCrory?
I've seen that statistic, mate.
Big Al, can you go and mute, mate?
Look, I'm just going to. I need to go anyway, guys. I've got some stuff I need to do. But look, I'll put Big Ross McCrory, and then for me, it's not just about on the park thing. It's that image that we want to project as a club is very important as well. And at the moment, there's nobody else in that.
Here.
Haven't heard them project that. I think that Ross McCrory can. For us. And those other things that Fox Max talking about, they'll all come because you empower that young guy with the confidence, the club behind him, the fans behind him. These things will come. Trust me, he's got it. Take care, gentlemen. All the best.
Cheers, Al. We've been joined by another caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, lads. All right.
Who's this?
It's Paul Fairverness.
Paul Fairverness. First time on?
Aye. First time on, but listen for a long time.
All right. Are you still on medication? You still on medication?
I'll get a point, right? See the other night when Gerrard would get into the dressing room, do you know that's a bit worrying?
He didn't go into the dressing room?
Aye, he said he didn't want to go because he's angry. I think that's a bit worrying.
There's two sides to that coin. I'll give you my views in a minute, JFK.
I don't know why he made that statement. You know, what was his reasoning for it?
Aye, that's what
you know, he's a manager. You know, do we need to really know that? You know, because that does kind of get me thinking. Well, you're the manager. You know, you're meant to be the man that stands on that pedestal, and we're all going to listen to you. So
part of his job, man.
Part of his job, Paul. Yeah. So I was a wee bit concerned about that statement. I know. Aye.
That's the first statement as well. It's fair fucking few players under the bus as well. Look, if you're not good enough, you're not be here. But they're all in contracts. What's got to do with them?
That's the hard bit. Travel Rock, can you come, mate?
I was a wee bit surprised that he said that. I think maybe with managers that we've had in the past, I think they went in there and probably laid down the law, but you don't know if he's went in there in the past.
Part of his job.
I understand that, but I don't know. Maybe he's went in there in the past, poor performances, and reamed them out immediately after the game. So maybe he was just trying something different. But to be honest with you, Paul, does it really matter whether the manager goes in there and throws teapots and kicks doors?
No, not really. Gets against the wall. That doesn't make you a good manager, no.
No, I know, but
some of these players are a wee bit worrying.
If the players had any...
I don't know if he's happy there, to be honest. I don't know if he's happy there.
Paul, can you let people finish? Because with Skype, it's not a phone call. Everybody's on slightly different time. Let them finish. We'll bring you in. All right, no problem. On you go, Travel.
No, all I was trying to say there is that the players should have enough about themselves. If they want to be Rangers players, if they want to play for this club, if they want to be the captain of this club, they shouldn't need to be in there and getting reamed out. They should know that they've let everybody down as it is. No, I totally agree with Paul. That is his job. And whether he does it immediately after the game or whether he gets them in the next day and has them running sprints for 4 hours, I don't know how he manages it. And you're right. There's been a couple of things recently that's making you think, right, come on, Stephen, you need to be a wee bit, you need to sharpen your pencil a wee bit here. It's easy now that you're going to hear doubts getting put in because of the way the season's turned. The season's turned really poorly since the winter shutdown. There's all sorts of rifts in the dressing room and players not being happy, and no players, they're saying some players are happy about Alfredo getting a new contract again and all the rest of it. So all that's going to come out when things are bad. Fox will tell you. I'm pretty sure that Rangers Radio sees a wee bit more traffic when things are bad. But I'm still supporting the manager. I'm still on the Fox's train for a wee while yet. But that wee bit strange.
For me, I found that a strange one, Ox. Especially to say to the media, because he knows they're going to jump all over it. At the same time, I look at the comments today in the back pages, and I was surprised at that they put Defoe up for the presser straight after the game. To me, that was absolutely baffling, because the guy's here on loan. He's just into the club. Doesn't know much about us.
You know the trouble with that, mate? You know the trouble with that? They take that rotational basis, which is absolutely crap and wrong when you have a bad result. That's why the boy Rossiter got sent out last year.
It was crazy.
I don't agree with you there. I don't agree with this rotation thing. Because there are players at that club who do not do the conferences. Exactly, there are players there that I've never seen.
They agree that they don't date because it's not their bag, and the other ones date on a rotational basis, mate.
No, but for me, the captain should have been there. The captain should have been out after that game.
It was a very strange one anyway.
I'm telling you how they do it, not how I would do it.
Well, that's wrong. That's wrong. That again, that's making it even worse. He is the captain, and if he needs to come out every single game, he is the captain of your club. That's what I want to see. And by the way, I want to see him standing there with a suit on. I don't want to see him standing there with a tracksuit on. I want to see him clean shaven. I want to see him being a credit to your club. And this is part of what's annoying me about him.
There's guys turn up to watch the Rangers with 3/4 length shorts on, which is a disgrace.
Can you care less? Their supporters, their spectators, they are not representing the club on the park.
It goes both ways. Their standards go up for the fans as well, you know.
Doesn't
Paul,
yes.
What's giving you concerns, the manager or the team?
The manager. I'm not sure if he's happy there, Roxy. I'm just not sure he's happy.
You don't think he's
happy? I'm just not sure he's happy. He's kind of threatened players before. They're not good enough to be here. How do you get rid of somebody in a 3-year contract? You get that guy, no slagging him, the new guy, which is the Camara. It's a 4.5-year contract. That's ridiculous. No one about this.
Coming in there, Paul, the one thing I would say about Stevie G, lately, I've got to be honest, we've been on this show every night, and I've said this a few times. Ox, you know this about me. I don't like slagging a player, but for me, for the 29th, you had Arfield, and for me, he was brilliant in midfield. See, since the 29th, the guy's been, I will say it tonight, he's been absolute garbage. Now, you know as well as everybody else on here, Stevie G has picked him for every single game except the games where he was injured. Did he merit a place in the team after these performances since the 29th? Under no circumstances did they merit a place, and yet he's an automatic starter, and he's done it with others. So that's how I keep coming back to the point. Is that a case he's looked at the rest of the squad, and he must have a siege mentality, and he's looked at them and he's saying to himself, I'm not playing you because I don't rate you. And I genuinely think that is the case with him now. I genuinely do, because there's players there we know that have been playing absolute rotten, and yet there have been automatic starters in the following game, and yet he keeps telling us, if you don't produce here, you'll not be here. Well, we know that's not true, because he's playing guys that have been off for him, and he continuously plays them. And you can't do that as a manager. It sends the wrong message out to the players that are trying. And they're saying to themselves, there's no point in me trying here because this guy's just not going to play me.
Anyway, get yourself a mute and we'll come right back to that point because Fox is going to play his tune.
I've sailed the wide Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I've sailed around the stormy capes, I've heard the parties roar. I fly the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. Oh, there's a sea back home in Scotland, means more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, it's the blue sea of Eyebrow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, it's the blue sea of Eyebrow. And it happens when the orange meet the green. No more I'll sail the 7 seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. At 3 o'clock each Saturday, I'll join a happy throng with Rangers banners all around. We'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of Eyebrow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of Eyebrow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. It's the blue, It's the blue sea of our brows. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue sea of our brows. And it happens when the orange beat the green. And it happens when the orange beat the green.
Well, thanks for that, Fox. Well back, gentlemen.
Yep.
All right, I think it was your good self there. I think Travel Rog's back with us on Skype. Louis Starrett was making a point there.
Aye, well, it's just what we're talking about. If he's not playing certain players, is he single-minded that he's made his mind up, he's got his best 11, and that's it. That's fair enough when they're producing and they're getting us the points. But if they're not producing, then that's when a good manager gets a hold of them and makes changes. And for me, he's not really done that.
Are we a wee bit short in numbers, mate?
Well, that's what we're saying, Ox. That's what we've been talking about even before Tuesday night there. It seems to be he's stuck to that system. And even when players aren't producing, he isn't bringing other ones on. So that's how I'm convinced now. He's looked at the rest of the squad and he's saying to himself, most of you guys, I don't want here. I don't think you're good enough. And I genuinely think he'll have a mass clear out. I really do. And I know that's going to be difficult today, but I think he's made his mind up. And he must have had, because we've all seen it. There's been umpteen games where players just haven't produced, and he doesn't sub them. He will not make even a substitution, never mind leave them out the next game. So there has to be substance in that. There's got to be.
All right, you back with us, Travel Rug? He disappeared again, is he? Right, okay. Well, listen, we're having a wee bit of debate about the manager's performance, yeah? The JFK.
Well, it's out there now, so we may as well discuss it, obviously, you know. There was 9 of us went to the game, 2 cars on Tuesday night. And we were all waiting to come home, standing in Copland Road. And we had a wee discussion of about 20 minutes. We kind of took a wee vote. I was quite surprised. 5 says Stevie G to the end of next season, and 4 said Stevie G should go this season. Right? No.
I'm really surprised at that, mate. I'm really am.
No, well, 62 minutes. I don't know what you saw on the TV, right? Because it wasn't really noticeable. But in the 62nd minute, when the Shagger scored the second goal, round about me and Graham and other guys, it was a clunk, 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 clunk.
Mass exodus, aye.
A mass exodus. Absolutely disgusting. Right? I was absolutely disgusted with some of my fellow Rangers fans. I know it was a rubbish, rotten, pissing down night.
But you've done the hard bit, you're there.
You're there. It's not a league game. It's a cup tie, you know, and they all walk out. Some of the things that were getting said in the way out, I can't repeat. I'll try and make him as polite as I can. But he should get to you know where, because he's no effing use. What kind of manager is he? He's a... Right, so that's the kind of things that's getting said now, Oxshire, right? And I posted on my Facebook yesterday some of the rubbish that's been spouted on different forums about Steven Gerrard. And me and Boswell had a wee kind of tete-a-tete the other night. He disagreed with me the fact about getting rid of him, and I wasn't saying get rid of him. I'm in the mind that he's got to the end of next season. If he doesn't bring a trophy, a bit of silverware to Ibrox next season, then he should be sacked. And I said that the other night.
Jimmy, he will be away. If he gets to next season and we've not won anything, there's no doubt about it. He won't be there. He won't be there.
So, but for whatever reason, this he's not willing to change the personnel on the park. For me, McCrory's a stick-on. I agree with what Fox saying there. We didn't expect the boy Kamara to come in And yep, he was a revelation. But I then agree on this other side of the coin, what Travelrug was saying, look who he's been playing against. He became a superstar. Wasn't up against much. But that's what's happening this season. The gaffers Disney want to seem to be changing it when we all can see it should be changed.
Yeah.
And that's the galling thing about it, Oxshare. We can see it. I keep using it, and we have a wee kind of laugh about it. We're only common men, common people, common women who go and pay our good hard-earned cash to go and see Rangers, whether we're there live or sit and watch it on the TV or whatever. If we can see what's happening, how can he no see? I mean, I like
and the backroom staff, Jimmy.
And the backroom staff, Blues. I like my managers to be animated, really into the game. Steven Gerrard.
Jock Wallace.
Jock Wallace, my hero, met him twice. You know, so things are starting to gather momentum, you know, and I mean, last night again I was listening to Snide, and I know Blue Star is an avid listener. No, I kind of gave it up, but and he'll tell you himself. There it was last night again, guys, and a couple of them, by the way, I've actually phoned in here. Aye, yeah. There was one in particular. We'll no name him, but I told you who he was, Oxshare, and he said sack him the new.
The young one, aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing we're up against now. And guys like me, Blue Star, yourself, Fox, Bridgeman, George Logan, Travelrug, I could go in Cairo, I could name us all. Skipper, all the guys, Davy Lindsay, we're all blue noses, dyed in the wool blue noses. But unfortunately, there's a lot out there who would love to see Steven Gerrard go now. And I think that is a travesty if that happens.
It's just wrong.
I want to see him here to next end of next season and prove a lot of people wrong.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to see.
I think there's a general overreaction when the Rangers have a bad result, mate. We tend to do that. We've always done it. I think we're disappointed, and I accept it's not an overreaction because I think it was Travel said we've not really played well consistently since we came back for the winter shutdown. It started poor against Kilmarnock. We've had poor results against St Johnstone, Hibs and Aberdeen. We've drew with Kilmarnock and Aberdeen in the Cup away. So we're all right. We did score a lot of goals against Hamilton, Dundee, and who else did I miss out? Hamilton, Dundee, and Kilmarnock Cup tie, wasn't it?
Oh, that's the thing. I think a lot of it's a bit of hysteria simply because when we got to that winter shutdown, we were equal tap. And we all expected far, far better. Let's be honest, every one of us was all believing we were definitely going to push them right to the very end. And since then, we've been really poor. We had three results where we scored 14 goals. Granted, it was against the lesser teams. But when pushes came to shove, the whole season, not just since the thing, the shutdown, when it's came to the big games, being realistic, we fell flat, and we really have. We fell flat. Now, since the shutdown, he's basically stuck to the same 11, same 13 or 13, I think it's been 14. And he hasn't varied for that. Not just varied for the same 14, he hasn't varied for the team select, the team formation whatsoever. Now, as again, we keep saying, if other managers are watching how we play, they know how to make it hard for us. They know how to break us down. They know how to sit in and make it difficult. And Stevie just hasn't been able to change that, to reinvent a different system to try and combat that. In other words, managers are combating him, and he doesn't seem to be able to combat them. Is it what we keep saying? Is it because he doesn't reckon that he's got the players to do that, which is understandable in the sense he's only had 2 transfer windows? Or is it a case of, well, we wouldn't want to think that way, that he doesn't know what to do? We can't think that way. We've got to think that he just thinks he hasn't got the players yet. And therefore, you've got to do, as Jimmy says, he must at all costs get to at least the end of next season. And hopefully he changes. If it doesn't, there's no doubt about it. He won't get longer than next season. That's just not going to happen. Not at Rangers Football Club.
Definitely. Here.
I mean, obviously the season started well, and the European one, well, Yeah, well, no, the season didn't start well. We dropped the points against Aberdeen and Motherwell, which was frustrating, but there was a lot of good football and promising signs. And the European run took us on an adventure many seen coming, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, and we have forward every time there's been a bit of pressure. The semi-final against Aberdeen in the Cup. JFK, could you mind, if you get a second? I reckon the team we played on Wednesday night wasn't far away. I think Sadiq and Arfield wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the team was pretty similar that day
to
the team that played on Tuesday night there.
Yep, you're right. Aye.
You know, and
therefore that's down to players then, isn't it?
Well, there's two things, and that was the point I was trying to make, mate, earlier on, that the 4-3-3, Fox likes the 4-3-3, he thinks there's a lot of debate. Sometimes I think your striker and your midfield players can get isolated depending how the game goes. I think that a manager shouldn't be rigid. A manager is the only thing that a manager does, picks a team and then he's got to react during the game.
I know you discussed it last night, guys, and it was there as soon as the Sheep scored, they went 5 across the back right away.
Aye, oh, mate,
yeah.
That's what they done. They went right across the back. That was it. Poof. Right, so
shut up.
He should not be known, and Fox has been saying it all season. You know, we've got to learn to break down teams like that, and he hasn't learned. You know, it's all right saying we'll try a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2 or whatever way you want to do it. You know, but as soon as he scored, you saw it. We were 5 across the back. They're not caring. They're going to go in a breakaway here. They're if they can get another goal, and it didn't happen to us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's is no, and then in desperation he brings on Lafferty and Defoe. You know,
and it was desperation, Jimmy, because there was nobody giving them the ball.
No, nobody. So he's got to. No, he's either got to. I mean, next season it doesn't look as if. I think Fred's signed this contract in order to get more money for him, and that's good for us in a way. You know, I don't see him being here next season.
No chance.
Right, so he's got to change his system because you're not going to get another player like for like with Fred. So is it Defoe, Lafferty, and a other? So who? I mean, we can all speculate who that could be. You know, is Zach Rudden is he the answer? Bringing him back? I don't think so. You know, did we bring back Doherty for Shrewsbury to get him into the pool to enhance the pool? You know, so we need to do something. We need to do something drastic because I tell you now, we'll only have Kent next season.
No.
But
the last be going elsewhere. So the gaffer. No,
but the last few performance he's made. If the youth players going to do a better performance in Kent, you wouldn't be upset. We've got to watch it. We don't put people up on too high a pedestal.
No, I know, but the fact of the matter is that I keep saying we can all see that the change should be made. You know, why can he not see it? You know, I didn't like his comment, you know, and he's done it again there about, you know, we are no good enough to go to Hampden. Of course we're good enough to go to Hampden. You know that these players are not good enough, and they don't deserve to go to Hampden.
I think the thing about it is they don't, mate, when they've lost the game. That's the point he's making.
No, I know that. I can understand it in that aspect. The fact of the matter is, I mean, I just think sometimes he should be a wee bit more brutal.
I need to cut across you. We'll be joined by a caller. Evening, caller.
How you doing, folks? Magpie here.
Oh, no. Magpie, how you doing, mucker?
All right, lads. Now, I've been listening to your show with interest. Great show as usual, lads. I was at the game the other night. I want to say a couple of things firstly, right? Let's be up front and honest with this. When Steven Gerrard signed for Rangers as manager, I thought the reason that man would come, that Rangers couldn't afford to make any more gambles. You know what I mean? And this is a gamble with a rookie manager. But I thought with that gamble there would have been major investment coming in. I actually thought somebody with money was coming in. So I was shocked when that didn't really happen. Now, I know he's had funds to spend and he hasn't spent it wisely. But let's be upfront and honest about this. The guy's really been thrown under a bus. He's came here with no understanding what he was coming into in Scottish football. From bad refereeing, to the media, to the actual hated the Rangers Football Club for every part of the country, including politicians. Now, I'm not saying that's a reason for why we're doing so bad in the park, but that's part of that. That's the reason. The pressure's been put on referees, for instance, with Neil Lennon, firstly at Celtic, then Neil Lennon at Hibs. When was the last time Rangers got a decision against Hibs that went in their favour? These are all relevant, and it is relevant. Now, the team he's got, this isn't a Rangers, this isn't Stephen Gerrard's team, this is a team full of loan players. None of it. He's got 3 or 4 players he has signed badly. I'm not going to stick up for him and say he's done a wonderful job, but it is his first job. I honestly think we can't afford to be taking chances. My honest truth, I'm not a great fan of Walter Smith's type of football, but I think Walter Smith could have won this league this year because how poor that Celtic team are. Now, here's another thing. That Celtic team have got more money now than they've ever had when we played them at any other time because of their free reign to Champions League money. They get 9 million, I believe, for Brendan Rodgers. They're getting money thrown at them right, left and centre. They should be miles ahead of us. But the truth of the matter is, my worry is, we were talking about Tavernier earlier, he's not a captain to me. I was brought up with captains like Richard Gough, Terry Butcher, Barry Ferguson, Amoruso. These are captains. Tavernier, to me, just... I read in the papers the other day that somebody was saying, I think it was Lavery, saying that everybody listens to Steve Davis in the dressing room. That's his job to be doing that. And I just don't see it. The guy, if you look at our back 4 rocks, right, how many internationals have we got there? This is one of the worst. Let's be upfront and honest, this isn't a great Rangers team. Stephen Gerrard didn't come in and inherit a team full of international players. Like, you know what I mean?
One of the internationalists on Wednesday night was one of the poorest players on the pitch for me, mate.
But that's what I'm trying to say. But we are what we are. We're not a great team. The truth of the matter is, we are struggling to beat the likes of Hibs. Now, here's another thing. Aberdeen play to me like Wimbledon. Now, how many good footballing teams in England struggle to beat Wimbledon? 8 players for Aberdeen on a night. That's unheard of. 8 players, not 1 player sent off. It's very strange. Are you trying to say me they just committed one bad foul and they never committed another one after it?
Oh, the boy Considine should have been off a part.
It's exactly. Oh, so this is what you're up against now. We are saying week in and week out, you're looking at bad refereeing decisions now. The pressure has been put on referees is incredible in this country. There are bad referees, let's face it. Steve McLean was 5 yards for that. They're scared to give decisions against Rangers.
Clancy on Wednesday night.
But you expect that from him. But I was going to say just another thing. See the Scottish politicians in this country, for instance, right? They're shock horror. It took them how long to talk about the Tavernier incident, and then in England they talked about it that same day. See that cup final against Hibs? They set the precedent for that. They allowed that to happen. Hibs should have been pulled over the coals for that. But the fact that Petty was the vice president of the SFA, it just didn't happen. And the truth of the matter is, mate, I'm not going to put the boot into the Rangers board because they're the only people that came forward to help the club. But Dave King needs to get out of that court with Mike Ashley pretty soon, and let's concentrate on this club because, mate, I don't even think it's going to be 10 in a row we need to worry about. I think it's going to be a lot more than 10 in a row because we need real backing. Can you afford to give Stephen Gerrard the backing money? Because he's not bought well with the money he had, but neither had the people before that. It's very difficult. You need people. I mean, McAllister, he doesn't really know that much about Scottish football. What you need is somebody that knows what's going to be happening in Scottish football. It must be a culture shock to him to see tackle Stephen Gerrard, that teams get away with tackles that his players would never even dream of getting. The Rangers play if it's a tackle and the first tackle is a booting. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think we're getting ref fairly, but I'm not going to make any excuses, mate. I worry about the future. If we cannot get financial backing soon, we shouldn't be expecting to beat them. Think about the money they've pulled in. It's more money than any time in their history of the club.
They might need it because of their history. Anyway, Magpie will be joined by George and Cushy number. George, if you don't mind, I'll take Cushy first.
No bother.
Right, yeah, Cushy.
Evening, gents. How are we?
How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Bit of a cold after sitting in that on Tuesday night, but apart from that, I'm okay.
Oh, were you there just with your strip on, mate?
I didn't have enough on regardless. Anyway, I was freezing.
All right, mate. What you thinking? What's on your mind, mate?
Yeah, I think at the end of December we all looked at it and we thought that we needed to strengthen in certain areas. And I think the two main positions that most people on here were talking about was a creative midfielder and someone up front to assist Morelos. And when it came to the January transfer window, we needed players who were going to come in those positions, but we're going to come into the first team and augment the first team and make the first team a better first team. And I don't think our transfer window done that at all. Defoe is a sub, so that's not helping your first team. We didn't actually bring in a creative midfielder because Stephen Davis wasn't that. We only brought in Kamara kind of last gasp as well, though he seems a decent signing for us regardless of his mistake the other night. But he's been the best of the players we've brought in. And Jordan Jones, frankly, for what I've seen, has done absolutely nothing for Kamara since scoring the winner against us. So I'm not holding my breath that he's going to come in and make a severe severe inroads into that first team. So I think what we hoped for in the January transfer window just didn't happen, and the inconsistency that was in that team prior to the transfer window. We've got the same inconsistency after it. We never improved the first team. So it's the same players making largely the same mistakes, failing to break down the same teams, and that's and it's basically knackered our season. We were hoping to kick on after January with a couple of improvements, and those improvements simply did not materialise for us. And there was no way Celtic were going to keep being as inconsistent as they were. And they've proven that since that. They've won every single game but one against Aberdeen, I think it is, where they've drawn. And we needed to find that level of consistency. But we were never going to do it with the same players because they just can't do it. And the January transfer window for me was a massive disappointment. And I think that's we're largely seeing the kind of demise of our season somewhat because we didn't strengthen on the areas that we hoped we were going to.
George, what's on your mind, mate?
I'm as gutted as anybody else. Let's be honest about it. I was expecting to win the league and the cup this year, and it's only got to be the league now, so we'll just need to settle for that in Steven Gerrard's first year. But in all honesty, I'm as gutted as anybody. Of course I'm not, but I'm still in the Steven Gerrard. I still think he's the right guy for the job. I think there's been obviously the result the other night. There's a terrible result. There's not one of the players can look at themselves in the mirror after that. But I still think it's been a massive improvement this season. I came, we spent money. I came, we should have done better. But the season's still not finished yet. We need to keep kicking on. Back to Saturday, a big massive game this coming Saturday. And we need to keep winning games and see where it ends up at the end of the season looks. Of course, we need to make massive improvements and bring in a few guys at the end of the season. But starting to call it, and it's everybody's allowed their own opinion, starting to call it certain players and captains and managers and things like that. I don't think that's the right time to do that. Obviously, we're devastated and gutted when we beat with that lot. But I think what we need to do is be honest and let's not start ripping the club apart again. I heard somebody talking about Mark Allen the other night there. The captain's good at the manager's good. Everybody's had it all. So of course that's what's going to happen, but I didn't think that's the right thing to do. I think we just got to take stock for a couple of days and actually see what actually happened. And we go put it after Aberdeen in the cup. We can put it with them before, we'll put it with them again. It's as simple as that. A hard one to take, but I didn't think we should start ripping the club apart and slagging everything about the club. And what happened there was it's a horrible defeat, but when you actually sit down and you actually think about it, the guys didn't deserve to go through the other night there, and the better team win. It's as simple as that. Blaming referees, blaming managers' decisions and things like that. We go beat off the better team, and that's as simple as that on the day.
No, I think you're very honest in your views there, George, but we're a support that tends to overreact when we have a bad result. But I think...
can I come in for a second? I think it's a bit unfair to say that the fans. I think the fans have been the best thing about the club, and the most fans have been through hell for for years and years now. They've been getting the boot put into them from everywhere, for the press, from politicians, from everywhere, and we've had no support from anybody but ourselves. The fans have stuck together. They've stuck by the club. Now, Amoruso and Rixon were two players that never hit the ground running. Haley's another one. And they got pelters, constructive criticism, whether you like it or not, or pelters. But they came through it. Tavernier, to me, is a serial loser. He's a good player, but he's in a position that's it's an easy position to fill. You know what I mean? If you've got an attacking team, you really don't need to. There are players out there you can get. Tavernier isn't an international. He's not in the same class as the players that I've mentioned, Rixon or Ferguson's, or people who took their game. I mean, Peter Glenn used to say about Ferguson, you need to calm down, you're doing too much work. But that's what I want. I want a captain to lead for the front. I don't want a captain to just, if everybody else is having a poor game, I'll have a poor game too. I'm not saying he's a bad player, he doesn't deserve his place in his team, but he's not a captain. And we need leaders, we need people. Gerrard's already told me 3 17-year-old boys bullied Rangers. 3 17-year-old boys bullied Rangers midfield. That's unacceptable. So I do think criticism is deserved. You know what I mean? It's constructive criticism. You cannot just sit in your hands. The Rangers fans have been sitting in their hands for ages. For the most patient support going, I don't know whether any other support would put up with the stuff I put up with. So I'm not going to take criticism of the Rangers supporters. They're hurting like everybody else. But it's another false promises. We all, every season we come on here, this is our season, this is our season. 3 trebles is unacceptable in Scottish football. 3 trebles. That's what's going to happen if they beat Aberdeen, because I can't see Hearts or anybody doing any games from. And that, to me, is unacceptable. When did they stop? When do you stop? When do you not say the Rangers fans have got a right to criticise?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Aye, great points there, mate. You know, I mean, I can see where George is coming from, you know, and not to criticise that. But I mean, for me, the shining light out of all this in the last 7 years has been us Rangers fans. We deserve all the plaudits. You know, we followed them everywhere and anywhere. And I just think that we've been quite let down. Well, more than quite let. A lot of the times, you know, some of the rubbish managers that were brought in the last 7 years. And we had high hopes on Steven Gerrard, and I still got high hopes that something's going to come for us in the next season. That comes next season. I think that he's due criticism. No, I've never booed a Rangers team, and I never will.
No,
I'm a great believer in that you should be allowed to criticise and vent your anger in a manner that isn't I can't get that word out anyway, it doesn't matter. Derogatory against the Rangers. But no, I think us as fans should be allowed to have our say. And I don't think we're going to, I mean, I disagree with George that we're going over the top. Nobody here's asking for Steven Gerrard to be sacked.
Yeah,
but I think there's a lot of questions that have got to be asked about how he's running the team at this moment in time. And some of his buys have been really poor.
JFK, know what got me in Tuesday night as well? I was amazed. I like to see a bit of passion for our managers and see the way he just stood. I take the point he was as scunnered as the rest of us, but I'd like to have seen him pumping his fists at some of the players, at least shouting to them or something.
Yep.
He just stood. And that doesn't bode well with the fans. Take the fans behind the dugout, for example. You're watching crap, you're watching your team getting cuffed, and you're saying to yourself, you want to see a bit of passion for your manager, egging them on or something. He didn't do it.
No. We've got 4 games before the split, and we're at home against Kelly, which is a sellout. Then we play the Puddle Drinkers after the Scotland debacle, and then we're at home against Hearts. That's nearly a sellout, and then we're playing Motherwell, the last game of before the split. But I was doing a wee bit in my wee spare time yesterday. I was sitting. We're due to play the Sheep at home, Puddle Drinkers at home, Hearts away, Kelly away, and the Spoon Burners at home.
Jimmy, we haven't beat Kelly in the league this year so far.
That's what
we haven't beat them in the league. So Saturday's game, as Ox keeps saying, Saturday's game's a massive game for us again.
Calm down. There's another 9 people on this call, yeah?
You're the chairman.
Yeah, and I'm just going to use 2 or get them back. Right. I'm a bit more in the George camp. I think we've always done it historically. It's a bad result, and I mean a bad result either when a trophy goes a cup final or when we get knocked out of a cup, particularly at Ibrox, and it was a terrible performance. And I think George would be the first to agree with that. And I'll go to George now, but we tend to overreact. We've got to sometimes look at the big picture. But I'm also in Cushy's camp. I think my recruitment has to improve. I think maybe they've underestimated Scottish football, which can be dangerous because it is pretty unique. So George, then Cushy.
I'm just giving you my point, Ox. I can't all the guys have got their own opinion, and people seem to say this thinking the last 7 years. I was there the last 7 years. I did never think I'd be one of these guys to be able to say I've been in every professional football ground in Scotland. I was there third, second, first, and I was there all the time and I've seen it. That's why I'm happy to see the improvement. Do I think we were terrible the other day? Of course I do. But when you start, I heard somebody saying there about Steven Gerrard standing with his arms crossed. I don't think there's much. See, when you put the players out in the park there and you can change it a wee bit, you can do this and that. Ranting and raving on the side of the park. Murty got slagged for ranting and raving, and now Steven Gerrard's getting slagged for no ranting and raving. I think we just need to, like you say there, take a cool heat. And of course, it is a horrible result. Take a cool heat and stand back for a wee minute and actually think to yourself, Ken, where we came from. People at the start of the season on the 29th, everybody was raving about how good he was and how good this one was, and Tavernier led us to this, and this one done this, and now they're all shouldn't be in Rangers jerseys. And come the January transfer window, it was a masterstroke. The only way we would get Jermaine Defoe and Stephen Davis up here as well, a manager like Steven Gerrard, and now it's 2 bad signings. I'm not saying the guys on here, I'm just saying on the forums and that in the last couple of days. I think, like you're saying, that you've got to take stock, and sometimes people just overreact. And yeah, of course you're allowed to overreact after a defeat. It's a horrible defeat, but better Rangers teams than this have been beat off Aberdeen, and they're talking about no beating Kilmarnock this season. That lot across the road spent £9 million a striker and beat them once this season, so it's not just about things like that. It's just, you need to think about it really.
George, at the same time,
Cushy, your name's Blue Star. Cushy.
I think we tend to have a little bit of a scattergun approach when we get a poor result, and everybody's blamed. I think criticism is warranted where it's due. I think there's some questions have got to be asked in terms of the fight and the team for a start. I felt looking at that game on Tuesday night, I felt there was only one team really wanted to win the game, and that was Aberdeen, which is a disgrace at home when we're Rangers and at home at Ibrox. I thought Aberdeen looked like the team that wanted to win the game. That's got to be addressed. I think as you've touched on there, and we touched on earlier on, the recruitment, which in September, October, November, I thought had been really good. When I look back at the recruitment and take into account the January transfer window, I'm actually starting to get really disappointed in terms of what we've done. A lot of the signings that looked really, really good at the start, such as Barisic and Katic, etc. Barisic has got a lot to prove. Katic can't get a game, and seems to be unpickable at the moment over Worrell. Kent who looked fantastic at one part of the season, seems to have faded and doesn't really have an end product. Arfield's went off the boil. There's a lot of the people that were brought in now that I thought a good few months ago would have been really good players of us have really started to shade in their form, and that's why I felt that we really needed a strong January transfer window to actually kick on again, and it didn't happen. But I think some criticism is warranted. But I think if it's said in the right manner and it's directed in the right way, and it's not just a case of, Alan's to blame, Gerrard's to blame, Gary McAllister's to blame. We tend to just look about at everybody and just point the finger at everybody. And I think Gerrard will know where the issue lies in his team, and I'm not sure him pumping his fist and shouting at him on the side of the park is actually going to change that, because he's got to change the personnel. He's got to bring in some personnel, I think, with a bit more of heart and people who want to play. And people who want to take on Celtic, and I think one of the I don't think it's a coincidence that the 2 cups we've went out against Aberdeen, Celtic have already been through to the next round, and we knew that Celtic were going to be the next team that we played. Right? I don't think that's a coincidence. I think our players knew that and simply didn't fancy the job. Simple as that. So I think that has got to be addressed, and that can only be addressed over a period of time when you bring in personnel that you think are going to be up for the fight, that we need our players to be. There's 2 things that have been in our favour this season that I think are cause for optimism. One is the fact that we got to the Europa group stage and for the first time in 7 years brought in a shed load of money. And the second thing is that we needed Celtic to start coming back to us. And with them not getting to the Champions League stage this year and actually only making the Europa group and one stage beyond that, then their finances are starting to drop and they'll start to come back to us. And we needed that because they are miles ahead of us, or they were miles ahead of us. So that's the 2 things in our favour. But we have to start addressing the manpower on the part and start putting a bit of bottle and fight into that team because it's still good enough at the moment.
Magpie, you played the game at a reasonable standard. Obviously a cultured player, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, mate. And I look at some of the players today.
I've seen some of the clips, mate. I would say sometimes very lazy as well, but that's because you made the body the work, you know?
Well, there's different matter, mate. Seriously, you know, I was always taught make the ball do the work. You shouldn't be running about like I just talked about Le Guin, what he said about Barry Ferguson. Barry Ferguson covered every blade of grass because that was his game. But he was a culture player, knew that he'd be better doing, you know, making the ball do the work. And you know, they'd be running a bit like madman. The truth of it, see, when I was saying about criticising, I wasn't saying we should criticise Steven Gerrard. I'm pro Steven Gerrard. What I'm saying, I feel as if Steven Gerrard's been let down in the sense that I thought when Gerrard was coming, that's a gamble. We've gambled. We're gambling with the Rangers' future. We've gambled with the Rangers' future for years, for the last few years. We can't afford to make gambles. And so when I thought when Gerrard was going to come in, he was going to have a whole lot of cash to spend. No sort of, what do you call it, loan players that's not going to be us, and a 38-year-old goalkeeper is going to need to be replaced. There's a whole team there. There's about 8 players there that probably would need to be replaced. Now, we're used to, the reason why I'm saying that we're used to seeing good Rangers players. And the job said about Aberdeen couldn't beat Rangers for about 20 years. I mean, everybody used to say they were a bogey team. I can't remember they couldn't buy a win against us. They can turn up at Glasgow 3 times in the one season and beat us, and we can't score a goal. To me, it's unacceptable. That is unacceptable, and it's unacceptable not being able to beat Hibs, because there is, for people at Tavernier should be remembering exactly what happened with Hibs. And there should be a passion in the Rangers players to go out and turn that Hibs team over. Now, I know we've outplayed them, but we're not turning them over. And there should be the same thing for Aberdeen. When we were up to Aberdeen, you heard all the posters all over the wall. We're still the big club. We're the club everybody wants to beat.
You know, something you mentioned Hibs there, and I'll cut across you because we've got a caller coming in.
Oh, no problem.
I think some of the frustration has came because of Friday night's second half performance as well, and Tapa Tuesday. Anyway, evening caller.
Hi, Ox, says Paul Inverness again.
Oh, you're back in, Paul. Go on in.
You cut off with your player tune. The reason I phoned is I was not sure if Gerrard's happy here. That's the point I was trying to make. All the fucking shite with Terry pressed. I think everything's getting him down, to be honest. He doesn't smile or nothing much. I think he's thinking about leaving. That's just what I think.
Oh, everybody's entitled to view. I hope you're right, Paul.
I hope no.
Aye.
But just
I mean, obviously, results would help him, mate. A run of results.
Aye,
you know?
Obviously. But he may be like, again, how am I going to turn this round? With that shite him up across the end. Just like, you watch your press conferences, he must be fucking sick fed up with it. He handled it well at the beginning.
What's the language, Paul, because there's some children.
Sorry.
You know, some of Fox's
I just
kids
don't see the guy doesn't seem like happy. I don't know happy getting beat with that shit. But that was my point.
I come back to I think a few of the guys think we're giving Stevie G a hard time here. Believe you me, none of us would rather be in the position to see Stevie G winning everything. That's fact.
Yes.
I genuinely believe now that he's looked at the squad, yes, some of the players that were already there, and yes, he's made mistakes in some of the ones he's brought in. He's looked at the squad now, and he's convinced himself that the top 14 that he's been sticking with the last few games, he reckons that's the best that he's got out of a bad bunch, and that's why he's sticking with them. And we can all pontificate as to who we think should be in the team and who shouldn't. The buck stops at our manager, and he's made it perfectly obvious now. He's sticking with the 14 players. He knows they're no good enough. He's made it plainly to the press and to us that he knows they're no good enough. It's whether he's going to get the funds to bring in the proper equipment, the players that he needs. But believe you me, he's educated enough and he's wise enough. He knows where we're getting let down, and he's as good as tell the press. And I'll tell you what, I genuinely believe he's told the players themselves, and I think that might be a bit of the problem now. I think he's told some of the players they won't be getting back in his side. I genuinely believe that, guys. But if he's given the funds, believe you me, I genuinely believe he'll get us at the top again, without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't think I picked up anybody, and I'll bring Fox in here because he's usually the voice of reason, unless he's a few bodies. But I don't pick up that anybody's putting Stevie G under the bus. What I'm picking up is pain and hurt for a game and a half that we were pretty poor. Fox?
I just think the reaction is sometimes a wee bit over the top. I don't think Rangers supporters really know what that battering of Celtic caused, the ripple through Scottish football, mate. We totally destroyed them, and I mean destroyed them at Ibrox in an open game of football. And since then, every manager in that league has shut up shop about against us, mate. I agree he's a young manager and hasn't found the solution to break down 10-man defences. But any is that what has been watching all season, mate, in an open game of football, we are probably I'd say we'd beat 9 out of 10, 9 out of 12 or whatever it is teams in that league, mate. We're running Europe was the same, open games of football. We played delightful football and got some tremendous results.
By the way, Villarreal have just qualified for the quarter-final of the UEFA Cup.
And we should have knocked them out, and let's be honest about that.
Aye.
But as I'm saying, on his buys or transfer dealing during the January window, if I was Stevie Gerrard back then, I know that side that's just destroyed Celtic looks really good. He added in 2 quality players in Jermaine Defoe and Stephen Davis, thinking that he'd hit the formula. This is how his team were going to play the rest of the season. But unfortunately, he's come up against 10-men defences that kick their players all over the park. No help for the referees, no protection for any of our players. And it's been a learning curve for him. And I do think that he'll sort it out in the summer and change his way of thinking about Scottish football. That you need a bit of craft and guile in the Scottish game, but you also need a bit of strength and physicality. And it's the strength and physicality we're short of at the moment.
Yeah.
When you go GFK?
There's not much I can say there. I disagree with Fox there. A lot of people seem to think that, when Steven Gerrard came, it'd be the catalyst for us, that they would go on and on and on and win as many leagues as we could. But for me, no, it's some of his buys have been poor, and Fox is saying about a knee-jerk reaction. No, I know we played the Puddle Drinkers after Park, man, but that's one game. It's all the other games that matter. I've said to you on here many times, look, I don't care if we don't beat them at all in the season. I just want to see your captain with the trophy at the end of the season. It doesn't matter. It's another game, really. It's great to beat them, but it's only another 3 points. We need to beat everybody else, and we're not doing that. And some of the decisions the manager's made has been quite strange at times. So, long may it rain for us to end of next season, and let's hope that next season we'll get the 55 if we don't get it this season, which would be nice. But he's got to win. I keep saying he's got to win something. If he doesn't win something, sack him. No 2 ways about it. Sack him, get rid of him. He's no good to us. Nobody's bigger than Rangers. We're Rangers. No Steven Gerrard. Me, you, and all other guys right there. We're Rangers. We're the supporters. We are the guys that make Rangers run. Without us, Rangers are nothing. So they need to start remembering that.
Cushy?
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that I think Steven Gerrard will take us forward, and I do think he'll win something. I think he's had a massive learning curve this year with Scottish football and how Scottish football plays against Rangers and how Scottish football refs against Rangers and how Scottish football's media, portray Rangers. And I think, you can look at that all you want for down in Liverpool and see snippets of it, but until you're living it day in, day out, you don't realise what's going on. I don't think we've got a manager that will walk away the way Warburton done. And I think we've got a manager that knows the game far better than Graham Murty or Pedro Casinha for that matter. So I don't think Gerrard will walk away. I think he is a boy that has shown throughout his career. He's always been up for a battle, and I think he will see that with Rangers. But I think he's probably now realised that a battle is exactly what he's got on his hands for us to be successful up here. Some of the boys have touched on it. He's going to need funds. There's no question about it. Money buys quality, and we need quality. But we've got to start using that money better. Everybody was talking about Pena and the money splashed out in Pena. Well, we've got rid of Pena now, and it's now up to Gerrard to bring in someone that, for equivalent money, that is going to do a massive job for us. And that, for me, the January transfer window was just a massive, massive disappointment. When I heard the four was coming in, I was really disappointed because I thought it was finished, and I said that in this show. I thought Stephen Davis would do a good job for us, and I've been massively disappointed. And the other two boys were, I didn't know what we were going to get, but I didn't think it was going to be a real first team, a real aid to the first team. So I think the January transfer window has just been a massive disappointment, and we have to do far better than that come the summer again if we're going to be successful next year.
Blue Star.
Yeah, I genuinely believe it's all about getting his first trophy, and I genuinely believe, I'll say it again, if he's given the funds that he needs and that he wants, he gets the players in that he wants. Believe you me, he's no mug. He's a well-educated guy. You can tell the way he speaks and conducts himself. The guy's got class written all over him. He'll get us on top, providing, and it's a big providing, he gets the funds that he needs, because he's going to need funds, because there are players there, we've got to hold our hands up, that are simply not good enough, and they're going to have to bring in far better quality.
Magpie?
Well, the thing is, boys have touched on it. Look, Steven Gerrard was at Liverpool since he's been a boy. He's never been round so many average players in his whole life as a football player. He manages what he's got. Now, his situation is, he's got Morelos, and it's quite obvious you can't actually pair Morelos off anybody. So if Morelos is off form, then you're going to have a midfield that's creative, that can get into the box. The way he did in his pre-season friendlies, they're flooding that box. Big Katic was even chipped in with goals. But Murphy's been a big loss as well. And if you've not got the midfield that's going to give you the creativity, or you can score goals or get in the box, and Morelos is having an off day, or he's three men marking him or kicking him, whatever, then you're going to struggle. And so the guy's right. I'm disappointed that Docherty never got the chance. And a lot of people don't like Docherty. I do. I think he's a young boy, and I think he would have thrived under Gerrard. He's the type of player I'd like, because he's got an engine on him when he gets to box. But that was Stephen's decision. I'm all for Steven Gerrard. I hope that he does something last year. And just as Fox was saying, we played Celtic off at Park Warburton in that cup game, and after that we got cup 5-0 and 4-0. You can't just take it in a one-off game. You have to consider we're not beating Hibs, and we're not beating Aberdeen, and that's why the fans, and Kilmarnock, and that's why the fans are up. It's not, we'd expect to beat off them now and again, but not beating these teams is just not good enough at this moment in time. But we stick by our team, and we stick by Steven Gerrard. I'm certainly not on here to bash Steven Gerrard. I just came on to give my opinion, lads, and to again praise the Rangers fans, because they have absolutely been tremendous. There's no other fan base like it.
Well said.
He's spot on with that one, George, isn't he?
Oh, he's absolutely bang on. I mean, that's the thing about the Rangers fans. We talk about, and me, I think we've got a good board now, and we've got a decent manager. Of course, he's a rookie manager. It's his first big job, but we're taking a chance. Or maybe he's taking a chance on us, but we're definitely taking a chance. But without all of that, wouldn't matter what our board does or what our managers do, they guys in the park. If we hadn't stuck with this club over the last 7, 8, 9, whatever amount of years, because even before the 7 years, it was a bit poor before that as well, the club would be absolutely nothing. So the fans, first and foremost, have got to take the stand-offs. But at the very start of the season, of course, I wanted to win something, and I wanted to get trophies back in the cabinet and that all. But see, realistically, after what we went through last season, humiliation in Europe, humiliated in the cups and in the league. At the very start of the season, if you could even go back and listen, I said I wanted to get closer to them in the league. A few games in Europe, with my expectations this year in Europe, and get a win or the end that we haven't done in the last couple of years, and we've done that. So of course we wanted to win a cup and wanted to realistically win the league as well. But for me, 3 out of the 4 isn't too bad, Ox, and we can build on that. And of course it's got to take money for the board and the fans and that again to date. But I think we're definitely in the right direction, Ox, and we've learned to walk before we can run. I think that's what we've had today, Ox.
And you come, Fox?
Pass me by at the moment, mate.
But live for the question.
I'm getting the final tune ready, mate.
All right, I thought you might have been counting all your winnings for
Can I just jump in there? See what George is saying there, about... Look, George, I think the honeymoon period is over for us, right? The puddle drinkers have had it too good, too easy for the last 7 seasons, and I'm sorry, but for me, finishing second is nothing, and I don't see that as a progression. The way we're playing now, we could finish third in this league, and if we're happy just to get an extra 2 or 3 points near the puddle drinkers, then for me, then that's total failure. That we should have won something this season. I don't care what MD says. We should have won at least one of the trophies this season. And for me,
at least go to a final.
At least go to a final.
I think we cup fit, but anything can happen. It's been proved historically. Your marker for consistency in where your team is the league. In these 9 games, because you'll play most of the upper teams, some of them twice, that'll give us a real marker for where we are.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. So, I mean, finishing second is no good to us. And
no, but we've got to win on Saturday and hope.
We're going to win every game.
Where it takes us. Let me think now. Paul, give your last word, mate, because we're near enough restart time, mate.
No surrender. Keep it going.
Well said, Paul. Well said.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for the call, mate.
Okay.
Gushy, you finish up tonight, mate. Give your final thoughts. Late call, as it used to be called.
Just disappointed. I think the way the season's turned out, massive disappointment. We've kind of, it's petered out for us. From it doesn't seem, it doesn't seem that long ago where we were so optimistic. So I don't. I personally think the league is gone for this year, and we just need to do as well as we can for the rest of the year and hope for the best.
All right, to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here, please keep it going. Keep it going for the Rangers. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11, talking about all things Rangers. I'll be in the West End of Glasgow. Take it away, Fox.
I wish you'd switch that camera off. You're scaring everybody.